let's segue into that Harry Kane interview. And you know what? I started listening to that Harry Kane interview. It was done on a Instagram live with Jamie Redknapp. But I switched it off after 40 seconds because my ears, they honestly started to bleed. Like, not only have you got Harry Kane speaking, but on the other end, you've got Jamie Redknapp, who, let's be honest, can't really be understood either. So I actually had to go the old school way and read a damn Sky Sports News article about this. And I know Harry Kane is massively talented, and he may have a condition with his speech, but I just had to switch it off. Couldn't handle it.
Is it a condition?
I don't know. I really don't know. You would do. You're the Tottenham man. You should tell me.
Oh, I think so. He just talks with the back of his throat, right? So instead of saying like "cool," it's "cool."
Oh, I see. But let me give you his quotes. Right. It's one of those things. I couldn't say yes. I couldn't say no. I love Spurs. I'll always love Spurs. But it's one of those things I've always said, if I don't feel we're progressing as a team or going in the right direction, then I'm not someone to just stay there for the sake of it. I'm an ambitious player. I want to improve better. I want to become one of the top players. So, Mr. Tottenham, well, the voice of Tottenham on this show.
Wow, that's just gone from like quite a nice title to a basically nothing type title.
Yeah.
Would you like to explain these comments to you? Yes.
I want your take on them.
Okay. Let me tell you, to most Tottenham fans, these comments won't really come as a surprise. It's always been known that he's a highly ambitious player and that he wants to move on and do other things. Now, that's not necessarily at another club, but he has said before that he wants to, say, be an NFL kicker.
Sorry, I couldn't stop.
I don't watch NFL, so I don't know why that would be funny.
It would just be ridiculous. It just going from like paid 150 grand a week or 200 grand a week to like getting paid like £5 just to kick. I don't know.
He's aiming for the NFL, I think.
Yeah.
Is that? I don't know how much NFL kickers paid. Is that why it's funny?
No, I'd just be really silly to see that. I'd be all up for it though. I'd be well up for it.
He's not the first player to do it. Clive Allen did it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
See, I mean, I have no idea. I don't understand the techniques that are involved with NFL kicking. Clive Allen explained that is quite vastly different. It takes a lot more work than what you may realise. But I think Kane is an avid NFL fan, so I think if he, and he's, as I said before, he's highly ambitious. I think if he goes for it, and he actually goes for it, he must have a level of ability.
Maybe.
But it would be quite funny to kind of just see him get water buoyed in his first game and then just not do it, just ultimate flop.
I don't know why he would even bother, but so
I think it's because he loves the NFL. He's a massive fan of the NFL.
What do you think about? Because to me, right, this sounds like a warning shot to Tottenham because you need. For him, he's sort of saying you need to get your shit in order, Tottenham. The higher brass and like invest in the team more. Don't invest in a French midfielder who decides not to run at all game, and
that's dumb.
And he's probably he's had quite a few weeks off with his recovery to essentially assess this team because he's obviously watching the games. And Tottenham lost one game up their last 7, and he's just probably looking at the way this team is playing and being like, what is going on? Like, does he want to spend the prime of his career with this team? I don't know.
I think all he's doing there is he's not saying he's going to leave, but he's also not saying he's going to stay. I think all he's doing there is just keeping his options open. And I think what he is essentially saying is that he feels he's one of the best strikers in the world. And he wants to be playing for a team that's one of the best teams in the world. And if Tottenham aren't that team, there's stuff even football he wants to achieve. He'll have to go find it elsewhere, which I think is fair play.
Fair.
And he's always said similar Like always had a similar kind of not tagline, but he's always said the same thing.
This is what he said on trophies. He said, It's a hard thing to take as a player. I want to win at everything I do, so when we're coming close and you don't quite get there, it's hard to take and starts to build up. But from my point of view and the team's point of view, all you can do is everything you can. Give your best to win every game, to win trophies. For one reason or another, we haven't quite got there.
The thing is, he might be, at this point, because, as I say, he's been saying similar things throughout his whole career, but for Kane, at 20, is he 27? I think he's 27 now.
It'll be 28 in the summer, I think.
So for Kane, where he would say it beforehand, and he's kind of like building towards this. If I don't get success here, I'm gonna have to get it somewhere else. For Kane, he's now looking at, not at the tail end of his career, but he's getting into his prime, and he's no longer at a point in his career where he's thinking, I've got 8 to 10 years left. I've got time to build with this. He's now thinking, I've got, say, 4 years in my prime to try and win something. And I think now, if he's now probably looking at a 2-season window, maybe even 1-season window, where if Tottenham don't win something, I'm going to have to move to win something.
Yeah. And if it was me, if I was Harry Kane, it's getting to the point where people will start to lose a bit of respect, maybe because he hasn't won anything, and he probably won't win anything with Tottenham unless something really drastic changes. And unfortunately for you guys, it's becoming more and more of a funny joke that Tottenham haven't won anything, and it's like you've had the team to do something and win something, but you haven't. So it becomes like the Liverpool situation and winning the league. It's snowballing into a bigger joke.
Yeah, it only gets worse as the kind of as season on season, and it's kind of getting close makes it even worse.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Like it'd be fine if you kind of just constantly got knocked out the group stage or like kind of finished fourth every year. But it's because, there's a second finish and there's a kind of final win there. But I think that's only going to drive Kane to want it more.
The most relevant example I could think of was Robin van Persie, actually, which Arsenal fans will know the pain of that, having to sell to your rival. But he did eventually go on to win the Premier League, which was, Manchester United's 20th. And he will probably say it was worth it, but in terms of the Arsenal fans, Ron Van Persie is not revered as really a legend, really. But I still think Harry Kane would still be referred to as a legend in Tottenham's eyes.
I think the difference between Robin Van Persie and Harry Kane is Arsenal kept a lot of faith in Robin Van Persie when he had a lot of injury issues.
Yeah, he had.
They kept a lot of faith in him, and when he finally started to he had a run of form and he played really well for a season. It might have been a season and a half. And
he was wild. He was playing out of his skin, incredible.
Yeah, he played really well. And then as soon as another offer came, he went. And the differences with Kane is
he's given you guys years.
He's just constantly been contributing to our club. Whereas, he's had a few niggly injuries, but it's not as if Tottenham have never sat there and gone, "Oh, should we really be keeping him? Should we just get rid of him because he's just kind of just taken a huge chunk of wages and he's always injured."
Yeah. Do you know how many years left he's got on his contract?
I was going to say 3 or 4. He certainly hasn't signed a contract in the last year or so.
I bet you 3 or 4. And to me, I think it would be very difficult to get a move this summer, as most clubs probably won't have the cash for such a large transfer, which would be in excess of 100 million, I assume. And because if TV deals get cut and whatnot, I don't see anyone being able to afford it. So
no, and the thing is, the value of players won't really go down because they'll be looking at it as, yes, this season he's not worth as much because there's not enough money in the market. But next season it's just going to bump straight back up to where it was. So a lot of clubs, I don't think the value of players is actually going to go down in the transfer market.
Yeah, and players will be rested and whatnot. But if you had to call it, right? You had to call it. What team do you think Harry Kane would actually be jetting off to? If you had to call it,
He's a difficult one to read because there's multiple things you usually look at. So I think if he was to leave, first thing you need to look at is clubs that would maybe sign him.
yeah. And then who do you think that is?
And the clubs that get mentioned are Manchester United. But to be honest, it's mainly Manchester United. That's really...
Man City could get him, but as in you couldn't have Aguero and Kane in the same team. I don't think.
Yeah, but Aguero's 31. They might be... So...
Yeah, they could. Yeah, so they could be doing that.
If I think the club that... I don't think he'll go Manchester United. I know he's been linked with them the most, but really, you're just swapping apples for apples.
Yeah.
United, I wouldn't say, are in necessarily a much better position than us. They're a few points off us. Yes, they won the Europa League with Mourinho, who's now at Tottenham, but they've won nothing other under Solskjaer. They have a bit more potential, I would say, simply because of the money, and they've got a younger squad. They seem to be
building
almost where we were. Yeah, they seem to be building. But I wouldn't actually... I think if I was Kane and I was to leave Tottenham, it really doesn't seem worth throwing in the towel with a club that you love to move to a club that isn't in such a dissimilar position.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. If it was me, if I was Harry Kane, I would be looking at Man United, Man City, and Real Madrid potentially.
If he goes United, it might be a bit more about money, but I don't think it's about money with him. I think it's about trophies.
No. I'm sure Man United would be like, okay, we want to give you this deal, obviously, but we're also going to invest elsewhere in the team. So this would be the prospect for him.
Yeah, I really don't see it.
Because I don't see Tottenham doing anything in the transfer market really, unless they swap out Ndombele, because you guys are not really known for big transfers, and that was your big transfer.
I think there's only 3 clubs who might go for him and might be able to afford him. I'll tell you who they are. I think Man City. I think there's stuff happening with Man City. I don't know if Kane is a Pep player. I'd say probably not. But at the same time, there's been this question mark over Pep, over whether or not he's going to leave, especially without them having Champions League.
He hasn't signed a new contract either.
So exactly. So if they get a new manager in, Man City might be an option for him. The next one is Bayern Munich.
Ooh, yeah, that could be.
I think Lewandowski's 31.
But to be honest, if you're buying, like for me, you don't get any respect for winning the Bundesliga. Like you just.
Well, you do. I don't think Kane would care about that. I don't think any player cares about that. It's a trophy. You've won it. You still have to win it.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know.
So I think Bayern Munich, and then the other one is Real Madrid. I don't think he's really a Barcelona sort of player.
No, they would have they would have a nightmare cheering on Harry Kane, because they'll be like, "What? This English striker doesn't know how to pass."
Whereas, especially, to be honest with you, he probably wouldn't have to pass in that team, would he? You got Messi setting him up all the time.
Yeah, but okay, yeah.
And then the other one is Real Madrid.
He would be more of a Real Madrid player for sure. I don't know why we create these stereotypes for Real Madrid and Barcelona.
Yeah, no, he's very much a Real Madrid sort of player more than a Barcelona player. Maybe Atletico.
Ooh, good shout. But if he's true to his word and he really wants to win things, I know Atletico Madrid have won it La Liga once and come really close with the Champions League twice. But
yeah, but they're at a slightly more elevated position than Tottenham. So if Atletico, and Juventus, Jesus, how could I forget them?
Oh yeah, but does he really? Can you imagine Harry Kane trying to speak Italian? It'll be a linguistic nightmare for Italian media. They would never let it go.
He would just learn how to sign.
Sign language in Italian.
Yeah, Juventus. Inter Milan are throwing money around at the moment. Maybe if they can scrape together like kind of a good team that seems to be building. Maybe Inter Milan. But I'd say they're the main clubs. So that's Man City. Just to go over, I don't think he will go to Chelsea. I don't think Arsenal can afford him, and they've got the same issue as United. It's not really a step forward. I think Chelsea at the moment would be a little bit of a step forward, and I think they've got the money, but I don't think it would go to them. Liverpool, I don't think want him. I
No,
think
they've
they've
got
got
too much. Their chemistry is perfect with the three strikers.
yeah. I don't think they would want him.
And then Arsenal. Will the prophecy become true? The picture of Harry Kane in an Arsenal kit celebrating the Invincibles trophy, will he come full circle all the way back home? That would be your biggest nightmare. That would be your biggest nightmare.
I think it was quite stupid of you to mention Arsenal because I can quite quickly say that one, you couldn't afford him, two, he wouldn't go, and three, it'd be more of a step backwards than a step forwards.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe with the squad, he might. Isn't just. I'm just talking about players. Like, he's obviously a differentiating factor, but he might choose the Arsenal squad over the Tottenham squad currently.
I mean, you can clutch whatever straw you want. It was quite an embarrassing loss for you just now to mention Arsenal.
Hey, whoever you've seen weirder things happen in football.
I think
It's happened before.
I
Don't
think
make
Arsenal,
me say it. No, joking.
Yeah, but you were actually a good club then. You're look, at the very minimum, you're just as shit as us. So, I think Arsenal's a no go.
Oh no, yeah, but you never know. You never know.
And then so then we've got Bayern Munich. I don't think Borussia Dortmund could afford him. I don't think the French league will entice him that much. As much as you say about the Bundesliga being like kind of a one team thing, not as much as fucking the League One.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go to Spain, Italy. I think right now, Kane is staying at Tottenham. And the reason I say that is because I think Kane's mindset is this. If we win something next season, I'll stay. And if we don't, we'll go. And whilst I don't think we will win anything, Liverpool are still looking very strong. City are looking very strong. Leicester bloody looking strong. Chelsea are going to be investing into their team. United will be investing into their team. Wolves and Sheffield United, we don't know how they're going to improve. I would say, whilst I don't think we're going to win anything, I think Kane's current thought process will be, I'm with Tottenham till I'm not. So I'd say at the moment, he's here for this season. Probably move on next season. But I don't know, because we don't know what's going to happen in the next season.
I will give Tottenham fans this crumb of comfort, which he said on next season. He said next year, the gaffer now, it will be his first chance to really have a pre-season with the team and embed his values into the team, and we'll see what happens. Of course, I want to win. I want to win team trophies. I want to be doing it sooner rather than later, so we will have to see how it goes. So he's intent on starting the next season with Tottenham. Here's how I think it's gonna go. Really, he's gonna look at his team and be like, okay, this is the team I got, which is not great at all. And we'll see what happens in the transfer window. The transfer window goes. If it goes well, then he'll be fine with it, right? If it doesn't go well, he'll give preseason and a couple of games up until, like, say, the January transfer window, see if Mourinho's philosophy picks off. Because it doesn't seem like the players are really playing for Mourinho at all, really, in the last couple of games. And if it goes south, then I think he's just gonna be moody for the rest of the season. Then he'll get his transfer in the next window.
I don't think he's that sort of player. I think he's more the type where I agree with the first part. I think he'll keep an eye on the transfer window, see how they improve. Because Kane will have in his head where he thinks they should improve, and that is definitely the defence. But he will have an idea in his head of how he wants it to go. If it doesn't happen, I don't think he's the type to be moody. He's not that sort of player. Again, which is why I think he will, if he does move on next season, he will be still admired by the Tottenham fans, unlike Robin van Persie. I think he would then say to Tottenham, look, I have ambitions. I want to leave. I want to go fulfill those ambitions. And I think he will do that. And he will just say to them, I want to go. And I'll go in the summer. I don't think he's a January leaver.
No, not a January leaver, but he'll make his decision up around January and be like, in the summer, I'm leaving.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I don't think he will. I think he will inform them as early as possible, but I don't think he's the type to cause a fuss about it.
Yeah. And then we have that. Harry Kane, do you think he will leave or not? Let us know what you think will play out for Harry Kane and his Tottenham career. If you could like and subscribe, Fickle Sports will waste more of your time.
Stay safe, everyone.
Stay safe.